Today we're covering how to listen to your body and make sense of hunger. Is hunger good or is hunger bad? So you might have heard before that in intermittent fasting, that hunger is good because you're fasting. Fasting is good for you. Letting yourself be hungry is good. Maybe you were in a diet program where they said if you get the cravings, that's good because it means that you're losing weight. So you might have got those messages on one hand, and you might have gotten on the other hand messages like what I'm saying. Hunger is good. You got to listen to it. It's a message for you to eat. And you might also have other thoughts about hunger, such as like a fear. Perhaps when you start to fear hunger, you think, oh my God, I didn't eat. This means I'm more likely to binge eat. You might also, maybe you think that hunger is a sign that you're going to be lightheaded, that you're about to faint, or that you associate it with being nervous. So there's many ways people can feel about hunger, from intermittent fasting to where it's good, to where hunger is a force within your body and it's to be respected, to fear of hunger. And there's even many people out there who have a real hard time feeling hunger. If I said, are you hungry? They'd say, I don't know. So there's people out there who don't even have a hard time tapping into hunger. How do you make sense of all these conflicting messages? That's what this video is about. I'm going to be sharing how there's a pyramid of skills, a skills hierarchy, where kind of the fasting I'm going to put up top, and I'm going to walk you through this skill hierarchy so you can see how you can train your hunger skills and where you're at and where you might need to go. If you do like the video, leave it a thumbs up. I'll also link down to a video below, which is about 2 tips to tapping into your hunger. So check that out as well. Leave a comment, engage. Really appreciate your feedback. Let's get into it. The top of the pyramid, this imaginary pyramid, I'm going to put intermittent fasting. I'm going to put fasting up there. And at the, I hate to say bottom and top, but I'll say bottom. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have an inability to make sense of hunger or feel hunger. This is where you, if I were to ask you, how do you feel about hunger? How hungry are you right now? You'd draw a blank. Or if I asked you, put your hands on your stomach, what do you feel? And maybe you'd say, I feel gurgling, I feel rumbling, and I'd say, what does that mean? And you'd say, I don't know. So that's at the bottom of the pyramid, and then at the top is fasting. So this is really important. It's important you see hunger as a skill that you can develop. So no matter where you're at on the pyramid, you can make sense of these messages. If you're at the bottom of the pyramid, you don't know, if you're having a hard time tapping into your hunger, and you hear this message that letting yourself be hungry is good, you hear the fasting message, that is not appropriate for your skill level. Another one, the next rung up is, in my book, is from where you can't feel hunger, you don't make sense of it, to when you feel hunger, there's confusion, you're anxious about it, you can feel hunger levels and fullness levels, but it's a confusing mess and you don't like feeling it. So that's the next skill level. If you're at that skill level and you hear this message that hunger is good, that you need to let yourself be hungry so that you fast, that is gonna probably confuse the crap out of you, or it might even be dangerous. At this stage, when you are confused about hunger, the message that fasting is good is not the appropriate message. In this stage, we need to be developing our skill of hunger so that we can interpret the messages of normal hunger, normal food. Just make sense of how to live 24 hours without freaking out about food, without going on a family vacation and then thinking about food the whole time, and thinking about if you're gonna binge eat and go crazy, or if you're gonna have to recover all vacation instead of enjoying yourself with your family. We wanna develop your skills so that you're regular with food. And then after you start, one side note as well, in this stage of the game, you might have limiting beliefs around hunger. You might find out through a little bit of journaling and introspection that you feel and believe hunger is a sign like that you're gonna faint, that you're about to binge eat. And this is where it's really important to have that we address the belief underneath that, is that hunger is bad. And we need to fix this belief. Hunger is a God-given force. You know, mice, monkeys, alligators, our human ancestors for millions of years have relied on hunger. Hunger is this beautiful system, like breathing or your heartbeat or the process of your cells mutating and dividing and growing taller. It's this nature-based process that we can trust. We can trust it. We need to trust it. You don't need to fear hunger. And if you're asking, well, okay, I fear hunger, and now you're telling me that it's not to be feared, how do I bridge that gap? That gap can be bridged first by adopting the mindset that you can bridge it if you start learning and listening to your hunger. So I'll just give a quick few journal prompts before we continue up this pyramid. But this is if you feel confused about hunger and you want to start trusting yourself around hunger, I'd recommend keeping a compassionate journal with not to keep a record of your failures, not to berate yourself if you fail, but a compassionate journal where you might journal before you eat how hungry you are. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Notice the sensations. Notice how it feels to eat food. Does eating food when it's really intense, when you're at a 10 out of 10 on hunger, you're starving? Does eating food, how is that like when you eat that food? Are you eating fast? Afterwards, do you feel good? And the key thing is, I can tell you what most people find out, but you got to journal yourself and actually go through this process of bringing awareness to your hunger and starting to find out for yourself that a little bit of hunger is good, but too much hunger is bad. And that if you give yourself permission to eat when you're a little hungry, little to a medium hungry, that your eating experience actually becomes more positive and joyful. Your appetite lifts up, you salivate more, the food looks better. It's a positive eating experience, and you want to be able to journal that and see your journal entries where you figure out this pattern for yourself, not because I'm telling you. The only way to do that is to pull out your phone, write some notes down when you're hungry, and to allow yourself time to reflect on your experiences, time to develop the skill. It doesn't happen overnight. So if you do start developing that skill, and hunger is natural, you're eating when you're hungry, it feels good, you're willing to eat yourself when you're hungry, you can go up the scale. And I'm gonna put fullness as the next level. It's like the flip side. Once you get hunger down, then you have enough mental headspace to start concentrating on fullness. And then from fullness, starting to really tap into enjoying food. And when you have a positive relationship with food, then I believe fasting is a great thing. It can be a great thing, although really you don't have to. But fasting might be seen as a challenge, because you do get hungry in fasting. I just did it the other day and I really liked it, but I did get a little hungry. But I knew, and this is not know in my brain, but I knew because I've built the skills up that I could trust my body, I could trust myself. And so I didn't binge eat when I started eating again. I kind of allowed my body to readjust. And in that case, when you trust yourself around food and you trust your hunger, then it's natural as you gain skills and enjoy it, you want to challenge yourself. It's like playing piano. You first start off with scales and it's rusty and it's not fun, but as you keep practicing, you want to play more and more difficult songs. That's same with fasting. You want to fast because you just want to try it. You feel comfortable, you want to grow and expand. So I hope this message helps clarify whether hunger is good or bad and the different messages you hear. So let me know what you think. All right, peace.